Welcome to the table. The table. Perspective.
Greetings and welcome to You Who Eavesdrop with Permission. We are back with the Table of Perspective, where we look at a topic from multiple viewpoints. Myself and Ashley are your hosts, and we will be talking about very controversial things today.
Very controversial, because the reason why you clicked here is because you wanted to hear our perspectives, because everyone has their own, flat earth versus round earth.
That's the topic today.
Exactly. That's the reason why you click, because you also, it
intrigued you.
Exactly.
Perhaps this is a question you have had
for almost all your life, because growing up we were all taught that the earth is round. And eventually some person decided to come and say, you know what? No.
Hold up.
Wait, no. Why do you all have to believe the earth is round? The earth is flat. And then they come up with their own, theory. And then now they have to explain why the earth is flat. Couldn't we just keep to or stick to the earth being round?
Okay,
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
We wouldn't, but we will be today.
Exactly,
and we're jumping into our first song, Roberto Rosso, Winning Side. Enjoy it, and we will continue this conversation.
Things will work out fine. So I'm picking up when I'm leaving, silencing of the feelings, taking hold of my dreams, and life's too short to let the past decide. When I'm lost and alone with no strength to fight, and the darkness fills the lonely night, digging deep for truth and believing that I can't survive. I'm on the winning side.
have returned. We have not left.
We
are
have
still
not
here.
left. We never left. You thought we left? No, never, ever. So we will be continuing our theory. Well, technically,
the perspective.
Our perspective on the flat Earth and round Earth.
Yeah.
So I believe the Earth is round.
Interesting. Very upfront.
And I'm gonna put it there. I believe the Earth is round. Don't ask me why. Okay, you can ask me why. Why, Ashley, do you believe that the Earth is round?
But I didn't ask.
Well, they are. Well,
okay, they're asking. What is it?
You're asking. So, I grew up being so intrigued in astronomy from like a very young age. And what intrigued me the most was when Neil Armstrong when he landed on the moon on the 20th of July 1969, the year my dad was born. Wait, February, March, April, May, June, July. My dad was 5 months old, guys.
That's
just
deep,
letting you know. So that intrigued me. I'm like, so space actually does exist. And as a young child who asks a lot of questions, I started also doing my own research, and eventually I went to school. And grade 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we had a topic called Earth and Beyond, but we'd only do it like in term 4. So here in South Africa, we have terms like term 1, get a break, term 2, get a break, term 3, get a break, term 4. And term 4 is like our last semester. We could say our last semester. So I was very intrigued, and obviously we kept learning. The Earth is round. We learned the lunar eclipse. We learned the solar eclipse. And I was like, this is so interesting. We went to planetariums, which was my best part. And some person decides to say the Earth is flat.
You see, okay, that's a very interesting viewpoint you have there. I'd actually just like to jump straight into what Wikipedia says about the two contrasting views.
Yeah.
So according to Wikipedia, it says that the flat Earth model is an archaic conception of the Earth's shape as a plane or disk. Many ancient cultures subscribed to a flat Earth, including Greece until the classical period, the Bronze Age and the Iron Age civilizations of the Near East until the Hellenistic period, and China until the 17th century. So that's the flat Earth theory. So the spherical Earth theory says that the spherical Earth or Earth's curvature refers to the approximation of figure of the Earth as a sphere. The earliest documented mention of the concept dates from around the 5th century BC, when it appears in the writings of Greek philosophers. And another thing that I would just like to mention is the definition of conspiracy theory.
Why do I feel like you are the flat earther? That's how I feel right now. I'm just joking.
I shall not expose my view. So conspiracy theory, according to the Oxford Dictionary, says that a belief that some covert or influential organization is responsible for an unexplained event.
Wait, what unexplained event now?
So this is the definition of conspiracy theory. Because you mentioned that someone told us.
Yeah, someone decided. No, it's not someone. Someone decided. Someone woke up from their bed and like, wait.
Hold up.
Wait a minute. I think the Earth is flat. And I am going to prove it with all that I can and put it on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Do you know who that gentleman's name was?
No, please tell me.
So, Mr. Samuel Robotham. He created this method, which is called...
Samuel. This is where I kill you myself. If I go to jail, guys, you listening?
I don't condone violence.
Okay.
So, his method, which he called the zetetic astronomy, models the Earth as a flat disk centered at the North Pole and bounded along its perimeter by a wall of ice, with the sun, moon, planets, and stars moving only several thousand miles above the surface of the Earth.
This guy is stressing me. Like, how do you know that the planet is doing... How do you know that the other planets are doing that? Don't stress my life, Samuel, please. Because we all know that it's the sun. We have Mercury, we have Venus, we have Mars, we have Earth. Those are our 4 rocky planets. Then we go to Saturn.
Saturn?
Yes, I don't know. I used to say Satan at first.
Saturn. Good Saturn.
So then we have Saturn, and then we have Jupiter, then we have Neptune and Uranus. Or is it Uranus, then Neptune, then Neptune? And then we have our dwarf planet. Apparently it exists, apparently it doesn't exist. We don't know anymore. So I'll just say the dwarf planet Pluto. And those are the four, the
but
rest
not as
of
a
the
planet.
Gas planets. How did you see that these stars and these and I'm not saying moons and these planets are doing whatever you just read there? Like, you're stressing me, even though I've never met you. And if you're still alive,
you're causing stress for people you don't know, man.
Exactly. Like, oh my gosh. But you know what? I have 10 facts here on how you can tell yourself that the earth is not flat.
So your argument is that the earth is not flat.
Exactly.
It is in actual fact a sphere.
Exactly.
So that's your personal perspective.
Yes. But first, let me explain something.
Are you fighting to the death for this one?
Yeah. But let me explain something quickly. So with me here, I have a ping pong ball. I wish I could cut it like half so that I can illustrate it more. But so the earth is round. It's spherical. If I had to cut it by the equator, half of it, right? Because most of the earth is made out of water, according to
the earth's surface is covered with water.
Thank you. The earth's surface is covered with water, and in the beginning, the earth was just a void. But as I'm still saying, you cut this open and you pour water inside the ping pong ball, right?
Okay.
The water, it's not like the water is curving or whatever. The water is still there. But I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, so you're saying that if you put water on the Earth's surface, it would have to go over it? Or
not like going over it, but they're trying to prove that no, you cannot see. How come you can see the horizon? How come you can see this and that?
Don't forget that they also argue that there's a dome that covers the Earth.
Dome?
And that the sun and the moon rotate as spotlights.
How do they rotate as spotlights? Because these things, the moon is the one that rotates around the earth, and we rotate, as in earth rotates around the sun, and the sun rotates around its own axis.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So if that person could explain to me how the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse happen if the earth is flat, and since that the sun and the moon are spotlights, and if you can explain that to me, then it's fine. But here are my 10 facts. So number 1, you can explain it with the moon. So it says, now that humanity knows quite positively that the moon is not a piece of cheese or a play. Oh God, wow.
That's the old historians.
And the phenomena that accompany it from its monthly cycles to lunar eclipse are well explained. It was quite a mystery to the ancient Greeks though, and in their quest for knowledge, they came up with a few insightful observations that helped humanity figure out the shape of the planet. Aristotle, who made quite a lot of observations about the spherical nature of the earth, noticed that during lunar eclipse, when the earth orbits, places it directly between the sun and the moon, creating a shadow in the process. The shadow on the moon's surface is round. This shadow is the planets, and it's great clue about the spherical shape of the earth. So lunar eclipse is a sequential view of the lunar eclipse that occurred on April 15, 2014. Was that our first one ever?
I'm not sure. What does the fact say?
I doubt. You can see the Earth's shadow crossing the face of the Earth and the Moon, and the shadow's shape is curved because Earth is spherical. That already explains a lot. Sometimes you don't even need science to explain the moon. But, now we have to go into deep things like this because other people decided that, and then it says here, since the earth is rotating, see the focal pendulum. Experiment for a definite proof if you are doubtful. The consistent overshadow it produces in each and every lunar eclipse proves that the Earth is not only round but spherical, absolutely, utterly beyond a shadow of a doubt, not flat.
Sure.
So, person Samuel and the flat earthers. Yeah?
Flat Earth theorists.
Flat Earth theorists explain how the moon... And it's not like they've never seen it.
Well, okay.
Let's get this straight. Was it last year where this happened or 2 years ago? Where I think it was last year. Yes, last year this happened where the moon was in a nice, very beautiful color, almost like a Venus-Mars color.
Yeah.
And we all saw it. It's not like... And it was all over news, I think.
Yeah.
And all over the internet and all that. Explain. So if it's a spotlight, are you telling me that the sun and the moon join together like this, and or the sun decides to spotlight the moon, and then the moon just...
Okay, so this is their argument, right? So Earth's day and night cycle is explained by positing that the sun and moon are spheres measuring 32 miles or 51 kilometers that move in circles 3,000 miles or 4,828 kilometers above the plane of the Earth. Stars, they say, move in a plane of 3,100 miles up. Like spotlights, these celestial spheres illuminate different portions of the planet in a 24-hour cycle. Flat earthers believe that there must also be an invisible anti-moon that obscures the moon during the lunar eclipse. So basically, they're even saying that this anti-moon, which obscures the lunar eclipse, like you were saying, there are other additions to the planet to assist in this theory. Could I say?
Can you see? They're adding additions, unnecessary additions. Can you see that they already... I feel like they're contradicting themselves right now, because why are you adding other things? As we know that the sun, the moon, and the earth, when they're all in line, it's either our lunar eclipse happens or when the moon is on the other side. On the shadow of the earth, it would be the moon, the earth, and the sun.
Yeah.
That's our lunar eclipse. But like... You see what I'm saying? Why is he adding additions? As it's already proven.
I think that's... So this is why I clarified what a conspiracy theory is in the beginning of the show. Because in this argument, you'll find that people will always find reasons as to why something is true. So, Ashley, what do you have to tell us?
About mine?
No, about the song.
Okay. No, I'm still angry at this Samuel.
We're going to close off and then we'll go back into the conversation.
Yeah, so our song that we are going to now is by Skywalker, Hosanna.
Enjoy.
I'll give you a reason to laugh. Let me give you a reason to laugh. Because this week I'm doing the deep joke segment. Yay! Okay, this is my deep joke. Are you ready?
Okay, sense of humor, turn on.
Okay, I'll never forget my granddad's last words to me just before he died. They were, "Are you still holding the ladder?"
No.
Just laugh, double laugh. You tried to hold it in.
Skywalker made it.
Had me singing Hosanna, Hosanna, singing Hosanna, 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 Hosanna. Had me singing Hosanna, Hosanna. No, this not no fable. I can't doubt my Lord is able. Born right out of stable, eating at the royal table. Scripture sweet like maple. Don't hang with fools, this ain't April. Man, this road unstable. Is this what you trusting in? Without Christ, how you gon' win? How is you gon' win? When I came across, I started battling my sin. See you in the end, hope you gon' ride to the end. Yeah, see you in the end, hope you gon' ride to the end. To die in Christ, that's gain. Man, it's worth the pain. I think it's insane to sell your soul for some fame. Meditating on his word, he be dropping all them jewels. Every time I listen, I feel like I'm back in school, yeah. He's singing Hosanna, Hosanna, singing Hosanna, 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 Hosanna. Have me singing Hosanna, Hosanna.
Yeah. No, this not no fable. God the one who made you. Every knee gon' bow down. Jesus coming from the clouds, yeah. Jesus coming back, dog. The Lord is my shepherd. I will never lack, dog. Lack, dog. Jesus died for your sins, and that's a fact, dog. Split out time right in half. I let you do the math. Before Christ, I was dead, all in my trespass. If I sin, Holy Spirit gonna dress that. Gotta repent, changing my mind, gotta be sent, preaching my lines, reading the word, yeah, it's the fine, end of the age, yeah, it's the time, yeah. 2 Timothy chapter 3, oh, when I step outside, that's what I see, oh.
Hosanna, Hosanna, singing Hosanna, 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 have me singing Hosanna, Hosanna.
And
we have never left.
I've returned with more points. I told you that there were 10 facts, but I won't go through all of them because, sometimes there's time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's also, so I'll just go through them and just list all of them. So it was the moon, that was number 1. Ships and the horizon, number 2. Verifying star constellations, number 3. Shadows and sticks, number 4. Number 5. See further from higher. Number 6, ride a plane. Number 7, look at other planets. Number 8, the existence of time zones. Number 9, the pull of gravity. Yes, flat Earth theorists explain the pull of gravity.
I can explain it.
Damn it. Anyways, and number 10 is images from space. Because okay, let me explain the images from space. If the Earth was flat and if nobody went to space, then how did that person know this is how the Earth looks?
Conspiracy theory. That's the thing.
But they would have drawn it. Wouldn't they have drawn it?
They could.
We have satellites. We have space stations in space. We have NASA. Other people don't believe NASA is real.
Conspiracy.
Exactly my point.
Which means that, okay, and this is the thing, to add on to your point, the self-assured way in which conspiracy theorists stick to their story imbues this story with great special appeal. All flat earthers are more adamant that the earth is actually flat than most people that believe that the earth is round. Probably because because the rest of us don't really have anything to argue about or to prove. If you're faced with a minority viewpoint that is put forth in an intelligent, seemingly well-informed way, and when the proponents that don't deviate from these strong opinions that they have, it can actually be very influential. That's why we call it a minority influence. And so,
exactly.
So that's the thing that you were saying. Many people don't believe that NASA exists. That's why it's a conspiracy theory. Maybe all of this is fabrication.
Yeah, this Samuel who decided to wake up in the morning and decide that the earth is flat and come up with his conspiracy theories has just kind of divided
it's divided us.
It's divided the flat earth theorists and the round earth theorists. But anyways, let me go to verifying star constellations. All right. This observation was originally made by Aristotle 384 to 322 BCE, who declared the earth was round, judging from the different constellations one sees while moving away from the equator. After returning from a trip to Egypt, Aristotle noted there are stars seen in Egypt and Cyprus which are not seen in the northerly regions. This phenomenon can only be explained if humans were viewing the stars from a round surface. Aristotle continued, claiming that the sphere of the earth is of no great size, for otherwise the effect of so slight a change of place would not be quickly apparent. the further you go from the equator, the further the known constellations go towards the horizon to be replaced by different stars. This would not have happened if the world was flat.
That's interesting.
It is, because even one of the videos I was watching, he actually also explained the stars. We don't see the same stars, to be honest, like from either the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. We don't see the exact same stars. It even, because I travel a lot with my mom, even like here in South Africa, not all the provinces have the same stars, and not all the provinces have a lot of stars. So here in Gauteng, where we currently live, we see less stars. Because we have like a lot of buildings and a lot of lights and light pollution. I never knew there's 7 types of pollutions, guys. Yeah. To be honest, I never knew there was noise pollution. I was like, hey, you people are making things up. But anyways, so when I was traveling to Eastern Cape, because my mom drives, and I like sitting at the back of the bike here because we have a mattress, and then I have my own blanket, I have my own space. So then she sits in front. I always tell everybody, go sit in front, go sit in front. I want to sit here at the back. So one time I had just woken up and I looked up in the sky and I saw so many stars, and I was like, oh my gosh, these stars are so beautiful, and they never look the same as the ones in Gauteng, which explains
it would also mean
this.
You would have to be clear on that, because you can also have the different constellations of stars. You'd have to know exactly their shape and the period of time.
You see, that's the thing. I didn't study stars.
Well, the fact that you didn't study stars doesn't necessarily give you more proof.
Fun fact about Ashley is that Ashley wanted to be an astronomer, but she didn't like science. She wanted to learn astronomy as an extra, knowledge, But now she had to do science, which is a subject she did not like. Yeah. And she ended up not becoming an astronomer. She ended up becoming a videographer.
It's deep, man.
At least they still are at the end,
There we go.
But that doesn't stop my interest in learning about astronomy. I love planetariums. I love everything, I remember going to the planetarium. I was in grade 4 at that time, and we're going inside planets.
Oh, wow.
I was like, hey! When we went inside Jupiter, I was just like, not us, but like obviously they tell the stories again. But like, we went inside Jupiter, and Jupiter was like, you go inside and just the lightning in his dark. And like, And then they're like, no, we have to leave. And but
I think that a lot of our arguments now have been against whether or not the flat Earth theory is true. I think, okay, so there is this other theory. It's an illustration of an ant on an orange.
Yeah.
And basically what they say is, if you imagine an ant walking along the surface of an orange into your field of view, if you actually look at the orange head on, you will see that the ant's body is slowly rising up from the horizon because of the curvature of the orange. If you would do that experiment with an ant approaching along on a long road, rather than a round object, the effect would change. The ant would slowly materialize into view depending on how sharp your vision is. And I think that's the same thing that happened in Pirates of the Caribbean, where the ship kind of emerges. So it depends also on your view of how something comes across.
But also, when I was also doing more research on the thing, actually was so they were trying to prove, well, they actually did prove with the ocean. Yeah. So they took a boat and put a flag behind it with red, white, black lines, stripes, and they went over till they tried to reach the horizon and stuff. Yeah. And when they did that, it was to prove that there's a curvature. Because if the Earth was flat, we would still see them even no matter how far we were. We could still see consistent. All those flag
colors.
Yes, all those flag color stripes. And then what happened was, each and every stripe started to disappear as the more they went to the horizon, showing the curvature of the Earth. Yeah. And this guy was just so hard-headed. But you could see that the theory was proven that there's a curvature of the Earth. But obviously, if you work for someone, you have no choice.
That's why it's a conspiracy
That's how
theory,
I feel, because if you're working for someone, no matter how much, because he said something about, if you're not in power, you cannot, I have to make sure that I prove that the earth is flat. My guy, where did you see this? What do they call it? The globe.
Oh, the dome.
The dome that is covering the earth, the flat earth, huh? Explain.
So there is an argument that I think they sent a rocket of some sort. That
so they send rockets. Okay. Yeah, why are you sending rockets? Yes, these people.
So I think that's the crux of our conversation. That upon speaking about a very controversial subject such as this, conspiracy theories will always come about, because whether or not there is genuine information being released to the public will always be a doubt. I mean, depending on who's in power and what their intentions are, you'll always have that kind of problem at hand. Where is what they're saying actually true? And I think that, just like they said with most round earth theorists, we don't really have much to prove. Yeah. Like it's not really a point of we're living, we're going to work, we're doing our things.
Yeah.
Why is it that this impacts our life?
Yeah. But I just want to read one more.
Yeah.
And this is point number 7. So hopefully we all understand it together, people. So number 7 was look at other planets.
Yeah.
The Earth is different from other planets. That much is true. After all, we have life, and we haven't found any other planets with life yet. Are you telling me that they're still going to continue?
They're still getting water from Mars, man.
Yeah, apparently there is water on Mars, eh? Yeah, but
just send Elon in there.
They send like a robot or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, however, there are certain characteristics all planets have, and it will be quite logical to assume that if all planets behave a certain way or show certain characteristics, specifically if those planets are in different places or were created under different circumstances, our planet is the same. In other words, if so many planets that were created in different locations and under different circumstances show that the same property, it's likely that our own planet has the same property as well. All of our observations show that other planets are spherical, and since we know how they're created, it's also obvious that why they take this shape. Unless we have a very good reason to think otherwise, which we don't, our planet is very likely the same. In 1610, Galilei observed the moons of Jupiter rotating around it. So Jupiter has, I don't know how many moons, I forgot, but it has, I think, 300 or 200 and something moons, because each and every planet we're the only planet that has one moon.
Yeah.
And we have life here on Earth. That's why God created life on Earth, not in Jupiter. Imagine! That would be so cool, having to travel to a rocket to go visit someone else on another planet. That would be so cool.
Do you know, no man, you know how much carbon dioxide you release into the atmosphere every time you need to go and visit your grandmother?
Meaning?
Because every time you launch a rocket or a jet or
like
yes, so the expelling of carbon dioxide from burning the fuel.
Oh, shame.
You're damaging them. The environment.
They'll be strong. Anyways, he described them as small planets orbiting a larger planet, a description and observation that was very difficult for the church to accept, as it challenged geocentric model where everything was supposed to revolve around the earth. Just makes me think everything doesn't revolve around you, baby girl.
Oh, wow.
This observation also showed that the planets Jupiter, Neptune, and later Venus was observed too, and all spherical and all orbit the sun. A flat planet, ours or any other planet, would be such an incredible observation that it would pretty much go against everything we know about how planets form and behave. It would not only change everything we know about planet formation, but also about star formation. Our sun would have to behave quite differently to accommodate the flat earth theory. And what we know of speeds and movements in space, the planet's orbits, and the effects of gravity, in short, we don't just suspect that our planet is spherical. We know it.
Sure.
This person, in fact, let me tell you the website, www.popsci.com. That's the website.
Is it a dependable website though? Because if they have affiliation links, that means that people can pay them to do that.
I went to go search like different websites. They all have the same thing.
I see. Okay. Well, we have made it to the end of the podcast.
We have made it, and I have finally proved the Earth is round.
I think that it's a matter of opinion
but
again.
Yeah, Samuel. I'm still angry at Samuel. Like, Samuel, you're forever. I need to forgive you.
Shame.
But unfortunately, not now.
I mean, there's evidence. There's evidence for. You can always find evidence to back up your argument, but whether or not it's viable for life is up to you. So we have made it to the end, and we thank you for joining us. It was incredible.
It was very incredible. But don't forget to follow us on our social media, the Table of Perspective on Instagram or _ but we're the only Table of Perspective. So
yeah. Do you let us know your views on it, actually? Yeah, tell us what you think. What's
tell us what
theory?
you think so that we also know and read like, you are like you. But like
no,
I actually asked the person, that one person. So on my contact list, I have 200 and something people and only one person responded to my status on why the Earth is flat. He didn't make sense, but it was okay. I was just like, okay. Guess what he said? The reason why the Earth is flat is because if it was round, it would all be falling. I was like, you get out of here. Leave me alone. Anyways.
I mean, that's his view. What can you do about that?
There's nothing. But anyways, Beulah.
We'd like to conclude on this song, Here With Me by Amapiano Vibes. I hope that you enjoy it. Make the most of today and have a great one. Thanks.
Goodbye. Love you, people.
Cheers.
Like what you're listening to?
Follow us on Gap and Twitter at ActiveFM,
Instagram at ActiveFM777, and Facebook at /ActiveFM.
They say I wouldn't cross the line, no, no. They put a mark on my life, yeah. They say I wouldn't catch a vibe. They say I wouldn't make it at all. Now you bless me. They want to use a calculator. They want to find out how I made it. They can't believe it, now I'm better, yeah. Now you bless me. They want to use a calculator. They want to find out how I made it. They can't believe it, now I'm better. If you're here with me, Baba, who can be against me? Who can be against me? If you're here with me, Baba, who can be against me? Who can be against me? Yeah. Now and forever, your love covers me. Your love covers me. Your love covers me. Now and forever, your love covers me. Your love covers me. Your love covers me. Hold on, Cinderella. Sit down, sister, let me tell you. He who is in me is greater. Nothing can compare to him. See me dancing all day. Call me names, I don't care. How they see me, don't face me. That's by me all over me. See, now you bless me. They want to use a calculator. They want to find out how I made it. They can't believe it, now I'm better, yeah. Now you bless me. They want to use a calculator. They want to find out how I made it. They can't believe it, now I'm better. If you're here with me, Baba,
against me if you here with me, Baba? Who can be against me? Who can be